Hello and welcome to Food as Fuck. My name is Zeek and Simone is behind the camera as usual, and today we are cooking shawarma. Oh yeah, and I'm talking legit shawarma. So shawarma, where I come from, shawarma is, shawarma is everything. People love shawarma, and everywhere I've been to in the world, usually people that I find who taste shawarma love it. Now the problem is, it's not the kind of thing that you can make at home. So when you usually go and buy shawarma, it looks something like this. That is sort of kind of hard to do at home. So usually people will make shawarma by chopping up some chicken or beef or whatever it is that they want to make it with, add some spices, and then just mix it in a pan. But that is not gonna cut it for us. Oh no, we are making shawarma like this. Okay, let's talk ingredients. So the shawarma that we're gonna be making today is a chicken shawarma. So I have a few chicken thighs over here, and I recommend you use the thighs because they're juicier and they sort of have more fat, which is gonna help when we put this in the oven. I don't have a lot here today because I already marinated some chicken yesterday just to make this filming easier and faster. But I will show you what to do with this batch here. We have a green pepper. We're gonna be using this at the very end, not right now. An onion, same thing, we're gonna be using this at the end. Now, most of the ingredients that are going to go into the chicken marination are as follows. So we have some basil leaves, dried. We have some oregano dried. We have paprika. We have onion powder. We have some cayenne pepper. We have cloves that I just pulverized and made into a powder. We also have some chicken broth mix powder. I'm going to be using a little bit of nutmeg powder. If you can get fresh nutmeg, that'll be 100 times better, but this is just what I have. And some powdered cumin seeds. We're also going to be adding, for the liquid part of this, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, some Guiness BBQ sauce, and for the very first time today, instead of sriracha, we are using Valentina. And Valentina is really nice. It's not a hot sauce, so it's sort of like sriracha. It's not gonna burn your tongue off or anything, but it has a very different flavor, which is kind of nice and I think works better for the shawarma. We also have some Dijon Mustard. Now we also have some yogurt, and this is going to be for the garlic yogurt sauce. You cannot have a shawarma without some garlic sauce. And of course the old GG, ginger and garlic, always. Now for the very end, we have a little parsley and cilantro. I have a cabbage, and this cabbage is gonna be used for a few things, and you're gonna see. We have some pita bread. So I have two types of pita bread here. This one is a bit on the thicker side, a bit more rustic, and this one is a bit softer. So Simone is gonna be going for the soft, and I'm gonna be going for the rustic today. Shawarma. Okay, so you are not gonna believe how easy it is to actually make shawarma at home. So step one, we're gonna start with the chicken. So very simple, I'm just gonna put my chicken into this bowl, which I'm gonna add all the marination stuff to. I'm gonna try my best here to give you guys some measurements. But a good general rule is, for the following ingredients, just put enough to sort of, in your mind, give a good coating for everything. So imagine you're trying to coat it from both sides, right? So I'm putting enough as if I'm also coating the other side of the chicken. Your onion powder, I'm gonna go about half a tablespoon. The chicken broth, I'm gonna go about half a tablespoon again. I don't know, half a tablespoon, almost a tablespoon of basil, oregano. Whoops, that's a bit too much. Put it back in here. Now cayenne pepper, this depends on your palate. Remember, cayenne pepper is hot, so this is really to taste. So cloves. So cloves are those small pointy things that look like an ice cream cone. I think that's the worst description of cloves in the world. Anyway, you can look it up. I crushed them and I have a powder. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this, not too much because cloves are very potent. A little pepper. What we are going to put now is some cumin. So now be good with the cumin here if you want that shawarma taste. So I'm saying this is about a tablespoon of cumin. Nice amount of cumin. I always recommend fresh nutmeg if you can get it. If you can't, just do with what you have. So about half a tablespoon. And I think that's it for the dry ingredients. So now wet ingredients. I'm gonna go in with some apple cider. Let's say 2 tablespoons to start with. Just 1, 2. Actually, I think I can take a bit more. 3. The Guinness barbecue sauce. I really don't want too much of this. I just want the smokiness from it. I will be a little bit liberal with Valentina. So I'm actually gonna go this much. Garlic. A little bit of the ginger. GG! All right, and all that's left is to give this a good mix. Just make sure that you cover all chicken. You want the mixture to be sort of kind of a thick, pasty thing, not a liquid really. All right, last thing I'm gonna do, a dash of lemon. And just like garlic and ginger and best friends, cumin and lemon have a thing going on. That's it for the chicken marination. That is done. All you have to do now is put it in the fridge. Now, I recommend you put it in for at least 2 hours. If you can, leave it overnight. It's gonna taste that much better. Meanwhile, we are gonna get a few things ready. So we're gonna work on our garlic yogurt sauce, and we are also gonna be preparing where we're gonna be sticking our shawarma, right? All right, so building up the base that we're gonna be sticking our stick from, and this is just a regular stick that you can get from the dollar store, I think for roasting marshmallows or wieners or whatever. However, before you start, you wanna check that this is going to fit in your oven. We need as much space as we want, so I'm actually gonna take off this rack. So I'm gonna have this on a pan, and this is gonna stand in there. So as you can see, I need to take a little bit off of this. Okay, so I already cut my stick and it's to the length that I want it now. First, I'm going to cover my, my tray here with some foil. Nothing fancy, we're just covering it with the foil to catch any drip from the chicken and stuff that fall. We're gonna create the base. So just take your cabbage, make sure you get a good chunk of it. So we want a nice sturdy base. So I'm gonna say about this much, 1.5 inches or so. Right, and that's it. That's what's gonna hold our shawarma stick. So make sure you leave the pointy part facing up, because then it's gonna make your life easier when you're trying to put the chicken in here. It doesn't have to be in the middle of the circle, just make sure it's in the middle of the whole thing, right? So you have maximum support. And it should go in pretty easy. There, and just make sure that it's straight. And there we go. This is your shawarma. I have no idea what this thing is called. It's a shawarma
stick.
Stick. Yep, so this is our shawarma spit. All right, so the yogurt is very, very straightforward. I'm just gonna take a few spoons of this yogurt here, just plain yogurt. Get fresh garlic, and you're gonna grate it in. A little bit of ginger, not too much. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. We're gonna put a dash of cumin. And then remember, GG, there's also CL. That was so lame. That's it, so mix this up. I added a little nutmeg, so I tasted the sauce. I think a little nutmeg would help. And that's it, sauce is done. Just put it in the fridge. until everything's ready. So make sure that you also preheat your oven to 360, right? So we're not going too high here because this is gonna go in for about an hour and a half. Everything's ready to go and I'm getting more and more excited by the minute. So I previously chopped up some onions and green pepper and we're gonna be using that in the layering. So let's start doing it and stop talking about it. So I'm gonna go get the chicken. So the next part is gonna get messy, so prepare for that. And as usual, wash your hands please after you're done. So very simple, we're just gonna start layering our chicken. And so I usually go one end like that, and then I get another end of it. And press it down, right? So don't be afraid to press down on it. You want it to be compact. One of these. And I'm gonna do that again. Be careful not to pierce your finger, please. I'm just gonna put this as a cap here. Keep everything together. Now tell me that doesn't look like shawarma. Legit shawarma. I could just look at this, man, for like hours. Look at it. It looks like shawarma. All right, so we're going in the oven. The oven is at 370, and we're gonna put this in for an hour and a half. However, I do recommend that you check on it through the glass. Remember, bottom rack, and if you've measured everything right, this should fit. So there we go, 370, timer for an hour and a half. Okay, here we go. Oh, dude! Dude! Look at it! Ah, look at that. So be very careful. Oh man, yes. It looks nice. We have a lot of nice, beautiful, crispy bits all over the place. I'm just gonna remove this part off. So we're gonna start cutting into this and watch this. You were talking about juice, Simone? Is this juicy enough? Yes. Okay, before this gets cold, we're gonna plate this up. Now for Simone and I today, I'm just gonna be adding some pickles to this, a little bit of raw red onions, and just some shredded cabbage basically, right? So just some shredded cabbage. So here we go. I'm gonna put first a layer of our sauce. Now, try to stuff it more towards the end of the pocket. And be generous, of course. Now, try to stuff it more towards the end of the pocket. And be generous, of course. Now top it off with a little bit of the sauce. So this is Guinness cheese, which is awesome. You guys seriously should try this. Now try to sort of make a pocket out of this and wrap it around itself. So with the endives, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Put a little bit of our sauce in there. Just scoop in So the shawarma. You know what I just realized? We forgot to put the parsley and the cilantro. They're supposed to be in the sandwiches. Because I specially told Simone to get them on the way here. So we're putting them in the sandwiches. We'll be right back. Now, one of the things that an electric oven is good for is toasting. So we are gonna be doing that with our sandwiches right now. Okay, tasting time. Simone, wait.
Very good. Just a little spicy. Too spicy for me, probably.
Simone was worried about the spice. To be honest, for me, it's fine, spice-wise. But if you guys are not too keen on the spice, just basically cut down on or take out the cayenne pepper.
I'm sweating. Really.
Alright, so we're gonna get out of here now before Simone starts melting away from the spiciness. Please, if you like what we do, guys, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, give us a share, comment down below. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys have already been showing us so far. I've been Zeek again from Food is Fuck, and this is Simone, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Sha POW! Next time we're making dessert.